I'm participating in a fairy jar swap organized by my crafty friend Miss Amy Love. I thought I'd share a quick video with just a few tips and pointers that you might find helpful if you are so inclined to create your own similar project. For me, one of the challenges in creating these sort of fairy jars was supporting the paper fairy inside. I've had some collage sheets professionally printed on very thick card so that they stand well on their own. If you are printing your own images, you can try gluing that to a sheet of scrapbook paper to give some additional stability and heft. The back of my fairy cutout is black, but the core of the paper is white. I like to darken the edges with a bit of paint so that they aren't visible. Personally, I like to use a lining brush to do this so that I can get into small nooks and odd edges. When I place the wings on my fairy, I apply a bead of hot glue, then hold the wing in place so that it dries on an angle. Glass jars often have seams. It's a good idea to know where these are so that they don't disrupt the view of the fairy inside. I prefer to use sheet moss over loose moss for this project. Sheet moss comes in sort of clumps and is much easier to apply and not quite as messy. I'm chopping off this poor girl's feet so that she is situated nicely inside the jar. Make sure to check the position of your fairy to make sure she isn't distorted by any bevels or curves in the glass. I use hot glue to hold her in place because it dries firm and quickly. She'll still be a touch wobbly in there, but I'll use embellishments to properly secure her in place. You may notice that I'm using scissors as tweezers here. As long as you don't squeeze the handle too tightly and cause cut marks, scissors work really well for placing larger items because they open wider than tweezers. To get rid of any wispy trails of glue, I'm giving the inside of the jar a quick blast from my heat gun. I use a dry, clean paintbrush to make sure everything is neat and tidy. I'm wrapping the ends of a strand of wired pipberry around a paintbrush handle to create a curly tendril effect. Tiny bit of glitter around the edge adds just a smidge of magic. Check the description for links to some of the products used and where you can find Pixie Hill all over the place. As always, remember to be kind to the fairies.